So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As you heard, I'm Shaun Grady. I'm the Global Head of Business Development, Partnering M&A in AstraZeneca. And from the beginning of next year, I will be the Chair of AstraZeneca's Business and Activities here in the United Kingdom. I've been fortunate to spend my entire career with AstraZeneca, and I'm based in Cambridge. I've been in Cambridge for the last 10 years, alongside the secret surfer, Mayor Nick. Who'd have known? So the title I've been asked to speak to today is Headwinds and Tailwinds. How do we stay ahead in a fast-changing environment? And of course, this is a theme that's been under discussion for many years, since the twin events of the global financial crisis and the onset of the so-called Fourth Industrial Revolution, but one which is accelerated further as a result of evolving geopolitical events over recent years. To address this question, I'll firstly give a brief overview of AstraZeneca's perspective of what makes a country a great place to invest and conduct life sciences, before describing some of the key challenges, the headwinds we see in the UK environment. And I'll end by outlining some potential remedies or mitigation to this situation. What can the UK do to stay ahead and ride those tailwinds towards sustained economic growth? So maybe to start with a few fast facts and comments about AstraZeneca in the UK. You'll all know that AstraZeneca is deeply rooted in the United Kingdom, with a significant footprint reflecting our heritage and FTSE position and status. We have 10,000 people here, over 10% of our global workforce. We spend £3 billion a year in research and development from UK-based teams, around 1/3 of our total R&D global budget. And we are the largest single private investor in research and development in the United Kingdom. We generate nearly £11 billion in sales to global markets from the UK, representing just under 3% of total UK goods exports, which is more than that traditional indicator of the robustness of UK economic health, the exports of Scotch whisky. Our economic contribution is therefore enormous, but we are most proud to serve 1.3 million patients a year in the UK with our medicines, as well as providing millions of vaccines for the annual child and adolescent flu vaccination immunisation programme. As the chair of AstraZeneca in the UK, it will be an immense pleasure to work with you all to help shape our continuing, ongoing future success. So in terms of the proverbial head and tailwinds in life sciences, let me firstly set out what we believe makes any country a great place to conduct and invest in life sciences. Whilst AstraZeneca considers a range of factors when making investment decisions, there are typically really three core determining factors that are central to this decision-making. Firstly, the presence of public investment in early-stage research, which is vital to help de-risk exploratory science. The countries at the top of this list globally spend more than 3% of their GDP on R&D, with countries like South Korea and Israel on 5% or above. In the UK, it's currently around 2.7%. This funding needs to be targeted at key subsectors and technologies, not spread thinly, and be available through low-burden, straightforward processes to enable nimble, agile partnerships and collaboration, which sadly is very often not the case currently. Alongside this, of course, you need access to extraordinarily talented people to conduct the science, and both a healthy domestic pipeline of exceptional people and an ability to bring international talent into your country and business. Second, the business environment needs to be conducive to private sector investment in research, in manufacturing, and in innovation adoption. This means having an attractive set of incentives, such as R&D tax credits, capital allowances, corporate tax deduction for IP generation, low business costs to make operating in a particular country globally competitive, such as simple planning rules, low labor costs, and of course, importantly, quality of life and space, as well as interconnected clusters where we can partner with other scientific institutions. Thirdly, and probably most importantly, to incentivize private investment in these areas, there needs to be confidence that the country's public procurement processes are open to the adoption of innovation. This is most acute in life sciences, where there needs to be significant involvement of the state through regulators, through payers and the healthcare systems before our products can be utilized. Ultimately, if we're going to invest significant capital in any country, the healthcare system should be a willing partner and demonstrable adopter of innovation. Moving to the headwinds faced in becoming an attractive and competitive place to do life sciences, there are a number of specific issues we face in the UK. To stay ahead and tackle these headwinds requires a joined-up strategic approach and collaboration between the public, private, and academic sectors. In an environment where large-scale projects or investments require the coordination of multiple departments, the current Whitehall system, as well as how it interacts with local authorities, needs, well, rewiring. To be able to fully realize the economic potential of regions like Oxcam, there needs to be a far greater emphasis on partnership and collaboration, as true innovation is rarely conducted in isolation. Second, to achieve the much rehearsed goal of sustained growth, you have to think long-term and be willing to make difficult decisions to invest in innovation. We are all too aware that our political system is geared towards immediate outcomes and that large-scale projects have proven challenging in recent years. There will also be risks involved in bold change. The technology or process change may not work. It may be overtaken by other technologies, and it will almost certainly upset established process and the people behind them. But we can't continue to ignore the problems we've experienced when trying to build infrastructure in the UK. The 300 million cost to conduct the application for the Lower Thames crossing, stretching to 360,000 pages, is one particularly egregious example. In the pursuit of these goals, government needs to be courageous, and I imagine we all hope we will see that emerge as key plans such as the industrial strategy are formulated or co-designed in the coming months. Finally, geopolitics is fast creating further challenges from the international system. The pandemic and inflationary pressure have accelerated longer-term trends in the global economy, which significantly increases competition for investment. Although the UK started from a strong position, recent political turmoil and lack of focus has stalled UK policy advancement, meaning other countries have been able to catch up. Every country I visit desperately wants life science investment from established players to emerging markets. and in many cases, they're putting their money where their mouth is. Spain accelerated clinical trials through incentives and investment. China has invested enormously in relevant technology areas such as cell and gene therapy. And Canada is cutting taxes and making other changes to become more attractive. We're also seeing naked attempts to reshore industry through hard incentives such as the US CHIPS Act and softer measures to lean on domestic businesses to invest. This dynamic runs counter to the UK's historic position of an open, liberal, free trading economy, and there is work to do to find a way to manage through this position. So what do we need to do to take advantage of the available tailwinds to remedy or at least mitigate this situation and use the UK's strengths to stay ahead? Starting with some simple points of principle. We must focus on the UK's comparative advantages. We cannot simply be leaders in everything. The state itself trying to pick winners is a recipe for disaster. But the state signaling which races it wants to run in is a healthy demonstration of the reality. Politically, that is hard, but it's necessary to have a coherent plan and to utilize finite resources to their best effect. The UK should also consider being bolder and take risks on one or two areas where there is a chance of a genuine moonshot moment, be that in quantum, in advanced materials, telecommunications, engineering, biology, or others. We need to truly recognize that people are our most powerful resource. The UK has an unbelievable track record in producing the finest minds on our planet, and this doesn't happen by accident. But again, this advantage is waning as others catch up. We need a renewed, strong and sincere conviction across all political parties that education and skills development is a fundamental part of the social contract. Finally, place is vital. Whilst we all want every part of our country to thrive, it's simply not possible for each and every region to have its own cluster in each and every technology. It's inescapable that some areas have natural and historic advantages that need to be exploited to return maximum gain. The case in point is, of course, that the Oxcam ARC is the only viable, truly global science cluster in the UK. There are truly amazing scientists and businesses in other parts of the country, including in AstraZeneca, in Macclesfield and Liverpool in the northwest. But nowhere else comes close to the potential of Oxcam for science, innovation and technology. And we also know that Oxford and Cambridge cannot create the agglomeration effects needed by themselves. We need more geographic space to deliver on the region's potential. This is not a zero-sum game. Making Oxcam the centrepiece of the UK's science and technology offering can act as a hub, linking to Manchester, Birmingham, Leeds, Glasgow and elsewhere with highly honed specialist capabilities. To close, whilst the list of challenges or headwinds are complex, we do have solutions available to us if the political will can be mustered and galvanized to address them. This will not be easy by any means, but the support of partners in this room and in the broader ecosystem, we will have the opportunity now to shape the government thinking and instill confidence to take strategic, long-term decisions that will course correct the UK and set us on a path to sustained economic growth and significant future further investment here from AstraZeneca and our global peers and across the life science value chain. With that, I'd like to welcome Rachel Wolfe, founding partner of Public First, to outline the economic analysis work they've been conducting on behalf of the Supercluster Board.